Hey guys, SpliceWave here, and this will be a remake of my how to use commands video, and the reason I'm doing this is because since I made those videos, things have changed dramatically in the latest PS Home Offline build, so with that said, let's get into the video. So what I mean by using commands is being able to type in commands into the debug command console, and then it doing something which is something that can be done in PS Home Offline due to it being a developer build, rather than the retail version of PS Home. So now that that's been made clear, let's get into some of the commands that you can do. So the first set of commands are commands that you don't have to type out, but rather you can just press a certain key on a connected keyboard, and so I will show you those keys and what they do, and I will also leave a note of them in the video description. So the first key, which is F1, loads the SCEA navigator menu, which as you can see, I'm already on, but it will make sense as to why I added this key when I explain what the next two keys do. And the next key is F2, which loads the SCEE menu, like so. And if you want to go back to the SCEA menu, you press F1. And I forgot to mention, the SCEA menu loads automatically when you boot into PS Home Offline. And then there's the next key, F3, which will load the SCEJ navigator menu. And as you can see, you can switch between these menus at any time. I've been over these three keys in a previous video, so you may know them already. So with that said, let's move on to the next key. And then there's the F4 key, which takes a screenshot. So if you don't want to use the camera feature in the emote menu, you can do this. And the image will be saved in the USR-dir folder of PS Home Offline. And then there's the keys F5 and F6, and the reason why I mention them together is because essentially they are two halves of one whole. And what F6 does is turn collision off, which allows you to walk through any walls, but it prevents you from moving up and down. And to turn collision back on, simply press F5 and collision will be back on. So let's give that a try. So if you press F6, we now have no collision. We won't go up and down, but we can obviously walk through any walls. And then to turn collision back on, like I said, press F5 and now collision works like so. If you watch one of my previous videos, playing PlayStation Home in 2021 Part 1, you will have seen me use this in the video at the Ravenclaw Common Room public space. Link in the description for that as well. But let's move on to the next set of keys, which are F7 and F8. And just like F5 and F6, they are two halves of one whole. So F8 changes the speed of your run speed to nearly 4 times what it is normally. And to put it into context, a normal run speed is run speed 4. And this speed I'm going at right now is run speed 15. And later in the video, I'll be coming back to this. And then there's F7, which, as you could probably tell, turns it back to normal, which is run speed 4. And you can swap between these at any time. Next is F9. Which opens the command console, which is where you can type in commands. And this is where we'll be coming back to later in the video, as right now, there's not a lot I can say about it. So let's move on to F10. So F10 will toggle free cam mode, and it will disable movement of your character. And to move the camera around on a controller, it's left stick to move in the direction you obviously point in. Right stick to turn, which has a full 360 degrees on both looking up and down, as well as left and right. And to move the camera up, press and hold R1. And to move down, press and hold R2. And then let's say you're going like this, but you want to go faster, hold down L1. It'll give you a speed boost. And then to get back to normal, just press F10 and you'll be back in the normal camera view. And the next key, F11, does something that in my opinion works best when you are in free cam mode. So before I show you that, let's go into free cam mode again by pressing F10. And let's move slightly away from my character. So here. And then if I press F11, what it will do is, it will teleport my character straight to where the camera is. And you can constantly keep doing this. So for example, I could place him up here. Or not, he likes to get pushed off. It's a bit steep, so let's use another example, this bush. And then if we go in normal camera view, we're up here. Just like so. And in case you are wondering, yes, this will work for the normal camera mode, as I'll show you. So if I just press F11, it will teleport me to where the camera is, which is behind and up. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just spam F11 like this. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far. And then there's F12, which actually doesn't do anything, but there are still two other keys that do something, which are the home and N key. And I've mentioned them together because they are somewhat similar, but I will admit that these two keys you probably won't ever use, but in the case of you actually needing them, I'll explain them in this video. So the N key, very simply, just reloads the space you are in, which is pretty basic. And then there's the home key, which will take you to Harbour Studio. And I'll explain why I made these two keys do this. So the N key reloading the space is mainly something that I would use in the instance where I have made an edit to the space I'm currently in and I want to load that edit. I just did with click of one button rather than going to the navigator and finding the space again and reloading it that way. And the home key is mainly for, let's say I'm stuck on an infinite loading screen, or let's say I'm in one of the three navigators, and under shopping I go all the way down and go to HDK browser. I can't back out of this menu. I'm pressing circle, nothing's happening. Alright, there's no way to back out. But if you press the home key, it'll take you out of it and put you into Harbour Studio, and then you can go to any space you want. That's the reason I made it. So in a way, the home key acts as an emergency eject button. So that's really your only use for it. Anyway, so that's all the buttons that you can press on the keyboard to activate a command in PS Home Offline, in my PS Home Offline build. So let's move on to some of the commands that you can type in, and we'll start with saving and loading outfits. Some of you may have noticed that in PS Home Offline you can't save your outfits like you usually could in PS Home, but don't worry because there's still a way to save outfits, although it is a little different. And the way to do it is first create the outfit you want to save, obviously, and then open the command console by pressing F9 on your keyboard, and then type in exactly like I have here, but I'll clear it just in case you haven't, save avatar, and then space, and then think of a name of the outfit. So for this we'll just use green mech jet, and then hit enter. And then, just so I can show you it in action, we're going to make another outfit. So let's press F9 to close the console. Go into wardrobe. And put on a different outfit. Okay. And then we're going to type save avatar. Well, we're going to open console, obviously. Save avatar red mech jet. Just like that. And then to load any of your outfits, obviously they can be a bit more complex than one item. We'll just type load avatar. And then that name you saved it as, you'll type out. So in this case, we'll do green mech jet. Like so. And then if we want to load the red one, we can do load avatar red mech jet. And on top of that, if you want to not have to type it out every time, you can open command console, so let's say it's closed, and then press up on your arrow key, and this will be your history of all the commands you've ever typed out. So let's say you want to load the green one again without having to type it out. You can just go here, enter, arrow key up, and then load. Just like that. And before I end the video, I'll show you one last command which we briefly touched on with the keys F7 and F8, and that is run speed, but this time you can set it to any amount that you want. So for example, let's say you wanted to go a bit more faster than what F8 sets it to. You'll open up command console, then type in run speed, and pressing F8 is equivalent of putting in run speed 15. But let's say you think that's way too slow and you want to do a bit more faster. You can do run speed 30 and then hit enter. And then, as you can see, we're moving a lot faster. And in case you're curious, yes, you can do an insanely high number such as this. Let's give that a try. The way I see this, this is more like a teleport. Like, it just teleports you to the wall. And as you can see, like any form of ramp where there's not a wall the other side of it, it is going to just send you flying off it. So beware of that. Luckily, the collision walls are quite high, as you can see. And then there's another one, which is walk speed. So let's press F8 to get it back down to run speed 15, which is reasonable. We can change the speed of the walk. So there's run speed, which is obviously your top speed, but obviously there's a bit in between, like for example right here, where I'm not moving full speed because I'm not pushing down the left stick all the way. So there is a way to actually change the speed I'm going now, and that's walk speed. So let's do walk speed. And since our run speed is 15, let's do walk speed 10. And then when we're in this form, we'll move a bit faster. And then when we push it down all the way, we'll go like that. And also, fun fact, you can actually make the walk speed higher than the run speed. So as we can see, it's run speed 15. So let's do walk speed 30. And as you can see, when we go full speed, it actually slows us down. But we, slightly relax the left stick, and we actually go faster. Obviously, you don't need to do that, and you can customize it however you like. And if you want to change it back to normal walk speed, it's simply type in walk speed and then 2. That's a normal walk speed, so let's do that. And we've got run speed 15 on still, so you can see the difference. This is it in normal walk speed. And then when run speed's on, we obviously go this much faster. Anyways guys, that brings us to the end of the video, and I hope you all enjoyed. I am planning on making another Playing PlayStation Home in 2022 video, so I can showcase some of the mini games that are in PS Home Offline that I haven't showcased before, so stay tuned for that when it comes out. But with that said, take care and peace.